So my name's John. I'm a mathematician. I don't know if you know what a mathematician is, but pardon me? What do you think a mathematician does? I did have an idea in starting JUMP that we weren't really nurturing kids' full potential in mathematics, both because I had struggled and then found it much easier later in life, and also because I'd seen in my private tutoring some amazing changes in kids. One of my first students was struggling in grade 6. They weren't sure he could do math, and he just finished his doctorate in mathematics, so he's now a professor. So I saw amazing changes in kids, and I really began to suspect that there was a great deal of potential and that math was an easier subject than people think. As one great mathematician said, it's really a matter of getting used to things in math. It's not that hard, but it's like a ladder. If you miss a step, you can't go on. If you lose your confidence and stop focusing, you can't go on, more than any other subject. And so I think that's why it has the reputation of being such a difficult subject. JUMP is very similar to other programs in that it does expect kids to discover things themselves. But it's different, I think, in the scale to which we break questions down into smaller questions and challenges down into smaller questions to make sure kids have a chance of discovering things, to make sure they have enough practice and review, to make sure they get enough feedback and assessment from the teacher. We started seeing incredible improvements in kids when they got one-on-one tutoring. Many kids went from remedial to academic stream. But I was really surprised when teachers asked us to come into the classroom. We found that those kids flourished even more when they could put up their hand or show off in front of their peers and feel successful. They started learning more quickly, retaining things, taking risks, and we saw the whole class could move along more quickly. So that's why we started developing the in-class program. And then it took years of testing. Teachers first requested some materials, so we started producing workbooks, which we rewrote many times, and then we realized that teachers needed more help designing bonus questions, activities, games, breaking the lesson down into small enough steps or challenges. So we developed very extensive teachers' guides to help them do that. You know, I've seen in classrooms where you minimize differences between students, and that doesn't mean holding the faster kids back, because we've got data that shows the whole class goes further. But if you minimize differences, then all the kids start thinking, engaging, taking risks, and their minds start working so much more efficiently. And they start to develop a love of the subject. And the interesting thing is they don't compete so much anymore against each other. They start competing against the problem collectively. JUMP has accumulated an enormous amount of data suggesting the program works, ranging from scores and scores of anecdotal reports that teachers have sent us, to much larger scale data. Sick Children's Hospital in Oise just ran a randomized controlled study in about 35 classrooms, and which produced very good results for JUMP. The JUMP group did significantly better than the control group, with JUMP students progressing at twice the academic rate of the control group. We've seen it in London, England, within a couple of years. Kids who were 60% of a population that were almost all 2 years behind, caught up and passed the national exam.
We do a standardized test beginning of September of grade 5, and it helps to set a level. And we've had children that would be really on that sort of standard bell curve, children a couple of grades below in mathematics, that hefty sort of average group, and then higher flyers, those children who might be called gifted in mathematics. But what happened, those ends have come very close together. That's a radically different type of classroom to teach, because they can all understand concepts at a high level.
Many teachers will admit that they are a bit math phobic, or math wasn't their strongest subject, and so that's why they respond so well to JUMP. We've had many teachers tell us that it's the first time they enjoyed teaching math, or the first time they actually felt they understood the math deeply. They're very grateful to be able to work their way through the curriculum and understand it properly.
The teacher's guide is outstanding. What I say to teachers is, you will never write another math lesson. If I try freestyling, sometimes I forget a step or two. And you see it immediately in the classroom and in the children's learning. So I really stay on script. The lessons have been perfectly designed. The JUMP Math workbook is structured so the children can do a lot of practice while the teacher, you can use it as an assessment tool in the minute by minute as the child's working. this change that happens in a classroom, I've seen over and over again now for 5 years. And not just 5 times in 5 years, but daily in a classroom. I see the children pumping their hands in the air, asking to do more math, asking if they could stay in for recess, explaining concepts to other children, encouraging other children and telling them they can do it. I think it's the only program of its kind. It's taking a revolutionary look at how children learn and how teachers teach. And it's peeling it back to the real math and the real steps in learning.
The teacher's guides that Jump Math provides are phenomenal. In fact, I would really struggle to teach elementary level math without them. They break everything into very small pieces. They tell you exactly what to say. They give you example diagrams, and they give you just a plethora of really interesting activities and bonus questions to keep all of the students engaged.
The greatest thing I've seen is the confidence that's built, and a student to go from saying in September, I hate math, to by the end of the term, saying that math is their favorite subject and that they're great at math. I've seen students with behavior issues who have really struggled with behavior do really well in math, and then it has transferred into other areas of school where they start to see themselves as a smart person, and that actually carries through with them.
The moment I opened a Jump Math book, I realized immediately I had never seen materials in math or any other subject for that matter, that were so well aligned with cognitive sciences and the neurosciences and so forth. And I could almost tell just by looking at it that it would work, that it was better than anything that I had ever done with students. And then the moment I tried it, students just loved it immediately. They couldn't help but succeed with every step that Jump Math gave them. When students do Jump Math, frankly, they are absolutely captivated. They love it. It's as if they're involved in some video game that they absolutely love. And when students start to experience all the small victories that Jump Math brings, I feel like I could detonate bombs right next to them and they wouldn't notice. Ice cream trucks could crash through the walls, and the kids would tell the ice cream truck, turn the music down, I haven't finished my set of questions, I know I can do this, hold on just a second.
I like Jump Math because it kind of breaks everything down for you into all these different components so that you really get it and you kind of just can't help but getting it. And then you look back and you're like, wow, I just got that question.
Well, I love Jump Math. I remember at the start of the year, like when I came into grade 5, I wasn't feeling very confident. Like when you do Jump Math, it really helps you. Like it starts off easy.
It makes you feel a lot smarter, and I think that when you're enjoying yourself and when you're like getting better grades in math, then you enjoy it more, so you try harder, so then you get better results.
It makes you feel like excited to kind of get up in the morning and come to school, and you feel like you excel in the classroom, and that's fun, and then you feel happy for the whole day.
There's a reason that Jump Math has a fanatical, passionate following. That reason is Jump Math works. It's not like the other programs. It's radically better. It makes me feel incredibly passionate about education, because now that I know that every student can succeed, I look at everybody, every kid that can't read when they're 7 to the kids that are doing calculus when they're 14. I look at all of them and I see a genius in every single one of them.
If you can succeed, and not just a little, but wildly, in a subject that's supposed to be so difficult, mathematics, wouldn't you start to tell yourself that perhaps you could do anything?
We would think kids are stunted if they didn't see any beauty in a mountain or a star, but we think it's natural for them to graduate from school without any sense of the invisible beauty of the world, the incredible connections, the elegant design of the universe. These are really... This is sort of a birthright of kids to understand and appreciate the world on that level.